Happy Sunday, and welcome back to another edition of Tap Into TV.
Kayla, tell the audience what's in this week's episode.
We'll be visiting Clinton, New Jersey with our original series, Homegrown.
And then we'll drop in on the New Jersey League of Municipalities Conference.
And in our business spotlight, we celebrate 25 years in business with a salon and spa in Union County.
But first up, Homegrown visits Clinton, a picturesque destination on the Raritan River with a thriving and walkable downtown, lined with a mix of cafes, stores, and small businesses.
Let's join host Stephanie Willoughby and see all that Clinton has to offer.
My name is Stephanie Willoughby, and I'm a family photographer here in the great state of New Jersey. Jersey is full of small towns with big personalities, which is why I want to explore what makes your community special. I'm interested in the stories that your community would tell if it had a voice. This is Homegrown. Vintage homes, a perfect red mill, and a downtown that could rival any Norman Rockwell painting. Clinton is New Jersey's best kept secret. A day trip could easily turn into a business venture, a new home, or just a place where your heart feels the most at home. Welcome to Homegrown, Clinton, New Jersey. Seated on the banks of the Raritan River, this historic village dates back to the early 1800s, where its settlers built farm homes along the rural and rustic land. Thought of more as an exurb of New York City than a suburb of New York City, Clinton is a tiny village with a rich history. The first thing you'll notice about Clinton, besides its obvious historic beauty, are these tiny signs planted all over Main Street that read, "Grow love, and love grows." I can interpret this slogan a million different ways, always coming back to the golden rule. First things first, if I'm gonna be touring Clinton, New Jersey all day long, then I'm gonna need some fuel. And honestly, there's no better place than Riverside Coffee and Tea. If the aroma doesn't bring you in, then the view certainly will.
I grew up in the Northeast in Connecticut, was lucky enough to get to work in and out of Manhattan and spend some time overseas. I met my lovely wife in Thailand when I was studying culinary arts. And then we returned to the States. We worked in and out of Manhattan for a while, and then found an opportunity to come out here to Clinton, New Jersey, have a bit of a quieter life, and found a nice place alongside the river where we could operate a little cafe.
Running a business can be stressful, but operating your own coffee and tea house sounds like a dream to many people. Like, a lot of people fantasize about leaving their jobs and doing something just like this, but you were already in culinary world, is that correct?
Correct.
Okay, so maybe it didn't seem like such a departure to you, but did it feel like a risk when you were taking it?
It was a big risk. We went all in kind of to commit to this opportunity. We're very happy we did. It's a wonderful community to be a part of. Just owning your own business gives you a lot of freedom. We have a great core of regulars, the townies that are here. But again, because of the activities the town is always doing, there's always tourists, and we're always pleased to get to meet somebody who says, I just found you guys, did a quick search for coffee shops, you came up, or I just came off the highway and crossed the classic old bridge and saw your shop. So I would say, 20% or so of our customers every day are new or tourists from all around the world. It's a real pleasure getting to meet everybody. The first time I visited Clinton, New Jersey, it was for the Ham It Up Festival at the Hunterdon Art Museum. It invites parents and kids to discover local artists, mingle with a jazz band, and create some one-of-a-kind art pieces. How did you guys come about choosing the artist and actually going with this theme? How do you choose your themes here at the Art Museum?
Well, we have an exhibitions committee, and we are always looking at trends in contemporary art.
So I know that you are the executive director here. Do you have more locals that are coming to the Art Museum, or is it, visitors? And can you talk a little bit about the people that you see here at the museum?
Sure. People from all over the state, from New York, Pennsylvania, they come to see our shows. We have a reputation for doing interesting contemporary shows, and for people who follow that, they know that if they come here, they're going to see something that's unusual and interesting. And of course, because of where we are in the center of Clinton, we also have a lot of local people coming in, and we have lots of art classes for kids and adults, and those appeal, of course, to local people. We look at art as something that really doesn't have geographic boundaries. We really want to show fabulous, interesting art. So of course there are a lot of local artists who fall into that category, but it's not what we focus on.
What is it about this museum that resonates with people and brings them back time and again?
It is a very special place in an 1836 grist mill. So the building itself is very unique and people fall in love with the building. And it's just a lovely place to show art because it's particularly contemporary art, because we're juxtaposing the contemporary art with the 1836 building, which is on the National Historic Register. So it's really a very special place.
I would love it, Marjorie, if you could show us around a little bit.
I'd be happy to.
Okay, let's go. I'm getting the impression that Clinton is a historic town with a modern flair. Not satisfied with being just eye candy, Clinton's downtown is full of local entrepreneurs who take great pride in the goods and services that they offer. The heart of Clinton, New Jersey is found on its main street and in the town restaurant. Family-owned for over 50 years, we stopped by to speak with Dino, the family patriarch and the owner of the town diner, whose slogan just happens to be, "Where Clinton eats."
The restaurant's been in our family for 39 years. My parents started it back in 1979.
How have things changed, or what kind of change have you seen in the town since you took over the restaurant?
Well, the town's a great town. We have a really good sense of community. It's a good town. It's a small town. It's flourishing. We have a lot going on. And we have really strong businesses here in town. We have about 7 businesses that have been in town for longer than 40 years. So it's a small town, but we're continuing to grow, so it's good.
So Dino, tell me what's the big seller here at Town Restaurant?
So the big seller for us is we're really known for our breakfast. We've been serving breakfast since 1979, so our omelets, our pancakes, our French toast, all of our egg platters. But we also do lunch as well, so we have a lot of nice salads. We have some great sandwiches and some good burgers. Yeah. So we just do breakfast and lunch, so that's what we're known for.
And what would you like people to know who are visiting Clinton and might come into the restaurant?
I would just like them to know that we're here. We're a small town in Western Jersey. We have a lot for them to do. We have 2 great mills. We have an awesome art museum. And we have a really great small town. So we'd love for them to come down and visit and enjoy Clinton.
So yes, a diner in New Jersey is a must, but what if you're looking for an alternative? Something that combines big city ideas with a small yet progressive farm town. Then you're looking for Grounded for Life Cafe, a plant-based cafe owned and operated by Tara Stone Kramer. Grounded for Life is actually truly inspirational and really just not what I was expecting when I came here to Clinton. So why don't you tell us about Grounded for Life and what your cafe serves and what separates you from other cafes in town?
We were born from just a basic personal need, and a 4-year-old at the time who was eating plant-based along with us, and just realized we were going to the same places over and over, and they were great, but you can only eat the same sandwich so many times. I've just always loved the town of Clinton and knew that if I was going to open something, that this is where I wanted it to be. So I left the real estate industry of 18 years and decided to open a plant-based cafe.
And what's your best seller here?
The Grounded BLT, by far, hands down. We could serve nothing but that and stay in business.
One of the first things that I noticed when we came over the historic bridge, besides, of course, the beauty of the town and the Red Mill, is there's these little signs around town that say grow love and love grows. What does that mean to you?
Grow love, to me, just means that we need to continually be planting the seeds of being kind to each other, being purposeful, bringing passion to what we're doing, whether we're coming down as a patron or we're here as a business owner. Smiling, you can walk around town and say hello to the person that passed you, and they don't look at you with 10 heads like, oh, do I know you?
Right. You're like, yes, you do.
I think because we're off of 78, we really do have quite a variety of people that come, whether they're on their way from Pennsylvania or from New York. It's an easy stop-off point. So we see all different types of people, families, where we don't see that as much in some of the interior towns that aren't on 78. So growing love just means continuing doing awesome things and bringing goodness to the area.
I love it. I feel like even in here, there's lots of fun signs in your business, you know, like the You Are Love sign, and there's also like a Choose Joy sign and many, many others that you guys have kind of around here, and like You Rock, all very positive, happy signs. How do you feel about your business here?
Yeah, I think just as a business owner, period, the town of Clinton, I have found excellent to work with. They're very pro-business. They're very pro helping you get open and very little red tape. I mean, the forms are very clear, and as long as you provided what they requested, there was no holdup. Like, well, you're gonna wait 10 days before you can open, before we can issue this certificate to you because so-and-so has to look at it. They're like, get open, we'll send you the certificate.
So if there were like 3 words you could use to describe Clinton, what words would you choose?
3 words to describe Clinton: welcoming, surprising, home.
Visiting Clinton is one thing, but what if you want to live in Clinton? Well, then you'd come and see the ladies of Vicki Healy Properties. Tell me a little bit about Clinton.
It's such a wide spectrum of what people have to choose from depending on their budget and what they're looking for, but everything from a really beautiful condo complex. We have some great developments in the area that have nice amenities and are really affordable. You can get a little cottage, or you can go all the way to, you know, super luxury properties and farms and equestrian estates and everything in between. Historic homes, new construction. We really have something for everybody out here.
Most of the people that are coming to purchase a home or even rent a place from you guys, where do you find them coming from?
A variety of places. Like you mentioned, some people are local, they've grown up here, they want to stay here, but there are a lot of transplants that are coming from other areas for different reasons. And it's different now. So many people used to always have to commute. So, you know, the areas immediately surrounding New York and Philadelphia, you know, a lot of people were always having to go to the office every day. But things have changed, and there's a lot larger population now that are able to work from home and might only have to make the trip into their office in the city once a week or twice a week or go for meetings. We're really conveniently located to Newark Airport here. So people who have to travel for business but work at home in between, this is really a nice spot for that type of work schedule. So it depends who it is and what they're looking for.
You know, the town itself is small, it's just a few blocks and it's on a little grid, and the people are they're friendly, and it's a nice place to be. It's kind of, I will use my sister's description when she came to visit one time, and she just was like, looking behind, she's like, I have to look behind the buildings. Are these facades? Like, is this just propped up? It was during Dickens Days, which comes right after Thanksgiving. So if anyone gets an opportunity to come out here the day after Thanksgiving, you'll see people dressed in Dickensian outfits, and they're singing holiday music, Christmas carols.
Like, it's really, it's almost, some of it is almost
it's almost hokey.
Hard to believe.
Yeah.
I want to talk to you guys a little bit about the price range of homes. I know that you said they're, you know, anything from condos to farms or equestrian estates. What kind of price range are we talking about for folks looking in Clinton?
Well, we definitely have something for just about every price point for people who are purchasing. Okay. So I would say on the affordable end, we're starting at around $200,000, and for that you might be able to find a nice condominium or, you know, a small home somewhere, and it goes all the way up. I mean, we have multi-million-dollar estates that are all in the immediate vicinity. But your most common price range is probably going to be in the $450 to $800 zone, and I realize that's a wide range, but we really do have such a variety. People come here for a day trip because it's pretty. Yeah. And we live here, so it's really nice to you have to sometimes stop and notice it and to appreciate it, because you get caught up in your day-to-day thing, and then you stop and you go past the Red Mill and the art museum, and you're like, wow, this is a pretty place I live. Yeah.
Every day when I walk my dogs and I'm walking them along the Pony Truss Bridge, I can't help but think, like, wow, this has been here for hundreds of years. And just thinking about the idea of like people who had walked across that, it's just kind of mind-blowing. Yeah. Or being in a house where, you know, from the 1840s, and like, what were the discussions of the day? Yeah. You know, it's like, totally. What happened? Yeah.
Well, and that's the thing. It's a lot of history, and it feels like a really soulful place, and it feels It does feel like home, so makes sense that we're here today and with you guys.
Thank you.
Before coming to Clinton, I assumed it was a quiet farm village with beautiful historic homes. I could never have imagined the rich sense of community or the way that the locals support one another. Clinton, New Jersey literally smells like coffee and toast and feels like a warm hug. If you find yourself here, get lost in its beauty and say hello to our new friends. They are self-made and homegrown. You can find us here on Tap Into TV or on Instagram at HomegrownNJ. I'd love to hear about your amazing town. For Homegrown, I'm Stephanie Willoughby. We'll see you next time.
To see all of our latest videos, subscribe to our YouTube channel at Tap Into TV.
Next up, Tap Into TV traveled to Atlantic City for the annual League of Municipalities Conference.
The conference brings together local officials, businesses, and organizations from across the Garden State.
As the New Jersey Beekeeping Association, we want to raise good bees and good beekeepers, so we prioritize people learning all they can before they get started in beekeeping, because it is 1,000 stingy insects. We are an agricultural commodity, and we want to make sure that everybody is safe, our bees, our neighbors, and importantly, ourselves. Getting your research is very important. The New Jersey Beekeeping Association has branches all throughout the state that are providing beginners beekeeping courses to kind of show if it's right for you or not, to get your feet wet so you can learn everything you can before you get started, so that way you are ready and well equipped with your knowledge, your equipment, and everything you need to get started in beekeeping. We're more than happy to help you learn and mentor you along your way within your first year so you can get started and hopefully become a mentor yourself. Well, bees themselves pollinate 1/3 of the food that we eat, and a lot of the New Jersey agricultural commodities depend on honeybee pollinations, such as our cucumbers, our pumpkins, our cranberries, and our blueberries depend on those honeybees in order for them to come to fruition. Pumpkins, for example, their flower only blooms for 24 hours, and a bee needs to visit it more than once in order for it to reach its full maturity. Even plants that are not pollinated by honeybees, that are wind pollinated, like our strawberries, can benefit from honeybee pollination, taking the fruit from the standard size that you get in the store to about the size of my palm. And I have seen this in action. It is a great way to grow a bigger crop without using any GMOs. It's 100% natural, and the bees themselves are incredible creatures. They help benefit your garden, but they also do more for us, providing many bonuses beyond the hive, such as honey, beeswax, and even the glue that they use to stick everything together called propolis. Honey itself is the only food that does not spoil because it contains a moisture content of about 15 to 17%, in between that range. Because it does not spoil and it's got that low moisture content, it's ideal for sore throats, but also wound care. If you were to get a cut or a scrape and put some honey on there, it acts like nature's Neosporin. It films and covers the wound, drawing out all the impurities while adding in all the good enzymes that the bees themselves naturally add to their honey. It's also good for a natural face mask or a hair mask. Letting it in, it cleanses the skin, cleanses the hair, and it helps heal scars. It's a natural alternative, and it's also a sweet treat. As the American Honey Princess, I had to start off somewhere, and I was the New Jersey Honey Queen last year. I came as the New Jersey Honey Queen, competed for the national position, and the knowledge-based competition, I won the title as Princess. So I wanted to come back and give back to the state that provided me with so much. The honeybee is a state insect for the state of New Jersey, and that was actually done in the 70s, I believe it was 1974, by a group of 5th graders. Those 5th graders went to the state and pushed for the honeybee to become that state insect because of how valuable it was. And just like our small little honeybees, these small kids were able to make a difference by banding together. And that's what makes the honeybees and everybody really beneficial, is because of the fact that they work together, they're unified, and they all share the same goal.
In the 1990s, the Meadowlands, which is the estuary of the Hackensack River, was under siege by developers, and we were losing habitat, we were losing species, we were losing water quality, and nobody really was worried about that. They were more worried about building office buildings and warehouses. When I founded Hackensack Riverkeeper, that was my primary focus for the first several years that the organization was running. In order to reach the public, we have several programs that we do. We do our pontoon boat cruises, where we take about 3,000 people a season out on the river. And then we have our river cleanup program. And this year we broke any records that existed. We did over 40 cleanups within the watershed of the Hackensack and the nearby Passaic. And we've mobilized about 1,200 volunteers to do that work, took out about 25,000 pounds of garbage. Our most recent victory is the victory to stop another fossil fuel power plant from being built in the Meadowlands. It took us a little bit over a year to get Governor Murphy to come to his senses, but he did, and he announced about a month ago, a little bit more than a month ago, that he was opposed to the project. And the very next day, the principals that were promoting the project backed away. We had 50 towns that passed resolutions in opposition to this thing happening. 50 towns did resolutions to the mayor and council, and almost all of them were unanimous. You know, so I guess they finally realized this is not a popular idea, you know? And if we're ever going to wean ourselves off of fossil fuels, you can't do that by building new fossil fuel facilities. You have to spend your money. If you're going to spend your money, spend it on renewables. And if you're not ready to do that, then get into another business. The League of Municipalities Conference has been on our agenda now for several years, and that's because I'm a pragmatic environmentalist, and I know this is where the decision makers come, and why would I not want to be here? You know, it's really fulfilling on a professional level and on a personal level that people know who I am, and they know the work that we do, and they realize that we're part of the solution to the environmental problems here in New Jersey. We're not here to cause problems, we're here to fix them. Over the years, we've been able to, bring the Meadowlands to a much better place. We now have over 8,000 acres of wetlands that are permanently preserved in the Meadowlands, and I've got over 275 species of birds and about 70 species of marine life that are back into the Hackensack River now. So the river's in recovery. It's got a long way to go, but I'm working on it, and my staff is working on it day in and day out, and we're making a difference.
Well, we wanted to come and promote our Art Matters initiative. It's a partnership between Art Pride New Jersey, which is the organization I represent, but also the New Jersey State Council on the Arts, which is a large grant-making organization that helps fund arts organizations from North to South Jersey. We do research on the economic impact of arts investment throughout the state. Part of that research came out of our Art Matters initiative with Art Pride and the State Council. We are very lucky in New Jersey to have not only a government that recognizes the value and importance of the arts, they don't just talk the talk, they walk the walk as well. We have a lot of information on our website. We have information from the state level for how investing in nonprofit arts pays off in community development, in jobs, in educational initiatives. So if you go on our website, you can actually see the breakdown of how the arts impact our communities at the county level. On behalf of Art Pride New Jersey, we also run the Discover Jersey Arts program with the New Jersey State Council. We have about 50,000 members across the state, and that is our program to get accessible arts out into the community. So if you are an arts patron, if you like ballet, theater, visual art, sculpture, anything like that, I would encourage you to go online to jerseyarts.com. We have a central clearinghouse of everything arts related going on in our state, and you can find some art you heart.
I went from being behind the scenes and being an operative to being an elected official myself. And around that same time, I became chief of staff for Assemblyman Andrews Wicker, and that's a position that I hold currently. And I won my first election, really, this past November. So my boss and I were both on the ballot, and we both won. To be chosen by the voters and the residents of Franklin Township really, really means so much, because everything that we should be doing is about service to our residents. So they put trust in me, and I have to live up to it. So being the youngest person on the council is really fun. It's a double-edged sword because our council just has a large age range. We bring very different perspectives to discussions that we have. I'm very comfortable in kind of leaning into the fact that I'm a woman of color and kind of always bringing that perspective and thinking about issues related to diversity and inclusion, because Franklin Township is a wonderfully diverse town. So My goal is always making sure that we're not just leaning on the diversity that we have, that we're making intentional decisions, and we're making sure that we're not ignoring any voices, and we're making sure that we're including people. Additionally, with my background in mental health and criminal justice, also focusing on public safety and how we address the community as government entities and making sure that we have a positive relationship. So as a newly elected 4-term councilwoman, I would say that for any woman of color in particular, but just any young person, any millennial that wants to get involved, do it. Go to your council meetings, figure out what's going on in your town, see if you can get on any boards or commissions, join any partisan clubs that you're interested, be a Republican or a Democratic. Learn what's happening, and then don't be afraid to speak up, because you have a place and you're the future. So just be informed and be accurate and just be passionate. And sometimes there are gonna be people that are gonna try and push you back down, but you deserve to be there. I made it, you can make it too. Just make sure you're always voting. It sounds really cliche, but politics really is local. And if you have really, really big concerns, you need to be voting and making sure that you're an informed voter. So you can hold people like me accountable, because we work for you. If you don't see something you like, advocate to change it. And sometimes that's, writing letters, sometimes it's going to public comments, and sometimes it's running and unseating someone who doesn't represent you. So do it.
Tap Into is a network of more than 80 franchised local news sites with more than 10 million readers. Bring local news to your community while owning your own business. Tap Into provides you with the training, support, and technology to help you build a profitable business. To find out more, visit www.starttap.net.
Accomplishing something for 25 years is a milestone in any endeavor, but for a small business to be thriving for all this time is a huge achievement.
And we spoke to Susan Barbaglia of Skin Deep Salon and Spa to learn the secrets behind her success.
To be successful, I think you have to have a true love. You have to be obsessed, almost it's an obsession with what you do. And I have that, and I couldn't think of doing anything else.
We do hair, we do makeup, we do nails, we do waxing, and we do everything, and we know what we're doing.
September of 1994, I opened. 25 years that I've been here at this location.
Susan expanded over time. We got to watch her grow from a third of what Skin Deep Salon and Spa is now, and it was exciting to see the business grow.
When we first opened up too, we were really small. And there are a lot of people who have been here for, 10 plus years since we were smaller. And I think we were almost at a point like a Cheers, like everybody knew everybody. You walk in, you know the front desk, you know Susan, the owner. If I don't ever touch your hair, but you go to another stylist, I still know you and your name.
Susan and her staff make it easy, and I don't feel guilty anymore. Sometimes I would feel guilty taking time away from my children or balancing everything, but you need to take time for yourself, and sometimes this is a small way for me to give back to myself after giving to everybody else.
We take great pride in what we do, and the products that we use here are always the best, and that was something that I could never have a product in here that I didn't think was the best on the market.
I know that they are well trained, I know the products are great, and there is a personal connection. Susan and her staff really enable that.
For me, my drive is to make sure I give my client the best quality, service and product. That was my vision, and I achieved it.
And that's our show for this week.
Stay tuned to Tap Into TV right here on News 12 Plus for more original programming throughout the year.
Thanks for watching.
Take the opener.
That's That's a wrap.
What? That's our show for this week?
Yeah.
You're kidding me. Stay tuned to Tap Into TV on News 12 Plus for more original programming throughout the year. Yes!
Cheers.
What? That's the show?